Welcome back to Out of Market Baseball. It's a little different this week. We've got cameras on, and you can see our glorious faces. I'm Clinton, by the way. I got Cory over there.
Yeah, no pressure.
And, man, you can find us at OOM Baseball, at Cory J. Satoon, and at Clinton C. Patrick. It's 5:28, and our teams are dumpster fires. But that's not what we're going to start off with.
Yeah, let's go positive. Remember, and we talked about being positive about our homer takes, and then they just kept pooping the bed, and it's impossible. But we'll get there. Yeah, there is some positives. Okay, some fun returns have happened. Not like they didn't just happen, but a couple of curveball heavy pitchers over there. We got Clayton Kershaw's back.
That's right.
He's looking okay. You know, he's not going to be quite his dominant self. But he's back out there and he's looking healthy. That's all you can ask for. And then McCullers is back. And I saw he struck out 12 people today. And that was just incredible. I mean, hey, I'm happy for him to be just healthy and ready to go again. And, you know, just glad to see it because you're talking about Kershaw, who's obviously had a long, you know, Hall of Fame career, been injured on and off a lot. And then McCullers was out for just multiple years, you know, going forward. So, yeah, we'll see how that kind of shakes out. But the one thing I do want to see with Kershaw is, you know, I guess last year he had a 4.5 ERA, but I mean, you're talking about a guy with a career 2.51 ERA. So it's like, I want him to finish out strong and not like let that ERA balloon up too much just because it's just the incredible amount of dominance.
Yeah, you don't want to see like
leading into it.
Yeah, you don't want to see like the Diamondbacks like mad bum, you know, just out there, just getting destroyed. So as much as I hate him being a Dodger, it's hard not to be excited with what he has done for the game of baseball.
Right.
Even if he does balk every single time he has a run on base.
You know, I mean, 20 years in, 17 years in, whatever it's been, at some point they're just going to have to let it go. But
that's right.
There is another unfortunate Dodger that, you know, you kind of have to root for too. I saw where Freddie Freeman had, I think he donated $1 million to the
he's so hard
children.
to hate.
Yes, to the children's hospital that his son was in whenever he had that scare. I guess that was a few months back, and that's really cool that he recognized that and just, you know, saw the people, saw the need, and actually did something. Whereas most people don't, and yeah, and $1 million, like, I mean, yeah, you can say, oh, he's getting paid all this money. That's
still
a lot, yeah. Like, even if you did percentage wise, that would be a big chunk of your take home pay too if you were doing it. So yeah, just really cool to see him step up. And again, that's not anything new for him. He's him and his wife and his whole family have always been very generous to the game of baseball. Yep, really cool to see some of these people come back. I got a little, it's not really a game, but it's just like on a scale of, because we've had two things happen this last week that set a record of sorts. On a scale of 1 to 122.9, how hard would you want to hit a home run if you were going to hit a home run?
I mean, if it were me, I don't care if it gets over the fence, it gets over the fence. You know,
honestly, if you could hit like a 60 mile per hour, it's almost more impressive. But
yeah, like
you got O'Neal Cruz setting a new Statcast era record for a home run, and when you talk about getting out in a blink of an eye, holy cow, 100! I mean, you just call it 123 miles per hour. That is incredible, and honestly, he might one up himself again. You know, maybe this, you know what this is great, because when Stanton comes back, he's gonna be like, all right, well, I see now what I got to do. I got to up my game a little bit further. So
oh, I know, because it's you look at leaderboards and it's like him and Stanton, you know, across the board.
Yeah.
But
all of the
I mean,
top
he's
10.
always, I mean, since he's come into the league, he has led in exit velocity. I mean, I think he had like one blip on in maybe 23 where he was like not top 5. He was like maybe top 10, but everywhere else, I think he's averaging this year close to 98 exit velocity. I'd have to look that up, but
that's ridiculous.
I mean, that's average. That's not even his max. So even when he is getting out, it's a very hard out.
Right. Yeah. I mean, obviously you don't want to hit ground balls a whole bunch, but if you're hitting them that with that much authority, then it just makes it that much more difficult for somebody
absolutely
to catch it. Oh, 97.2. And
okay.
that is 100th
right, so
percentile. But still,
I gave him 0.8. Okay.
He's 100 percentile in exit velocity, barrel percent, hard hit percent, and bat speed, which is crazy. Oh, wow. I didn't realize he was walking so much this year. He's got a 15% walk rate. Obviously, he still strikes out a lot.
Well, when he's not getting pitches called 4 inches below the zone.
Hey, look, you got to pitch around their best player. That's the game, right?
Even though it was my team, it was like, dear Lord, that was low.
Oh yeah, that was a bad call.
And you and I both know that little snippet of him rolling his eyes is going to be an everlasting image shared across baseball for years to come.
We need some new GIFs, I could send to people. So I like it, but I got another on a scale. So if you were throwing, let's say the last pitch happened to be a strikeout of the game to complete a Maddox, which is, a complete game, sub 100 pitches, on a scale of throwing it 1 mile per hour to 102.6, which one would you choose?
Man, I'm going to go with 102.6. If I still got 102.6 in the tank, I want to show it off.
Absolutely. And you're throwing left-handed because your name is Tariq Skubal, and he is absolutely bonkers, dude. And 13 strikeouts. I mean, just the best pitcher in baseball. I mean, yeah, just obviously Skeens is right there with him, but yeah, these guys throwing it that fast, and also just being able to dot it and just work, all over the plate with it has been incredible. So I put that on there because I think that is the fastest pitch for a strikeout by a starter or something like that. I know there's a few little like caveats, but still, like, obviously people have thrown the ball a little bit harder than 102.6, but not a starting pitcher, and definitely not for the last pitch of the game, which I think it was his 93rd pitch, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's very impressive to be still pumping, which I get. It's a shutout. You're throwing 9 innings, and still Maddox style. How many pitches was he at? He was under 100.
Yeah, I think around 93, 94.
And so, I mean, the adrenaline's flowing, and so he harnessed it all to get that.
And that's the hardest pitch I think of his career too. So be careful. We don't want to go Jacob deGrom route here. Don't throw so hard you hurt yourself. But that was fun. Oh man! And then on the other, this isn't really on a scale, but it was just something I want to call out, and I almost chose this as my player of the year. But I figured I'd just call him out here. But dude, Seiya Suzuki, dude is absolutely torching everything because he has 51 RBIs in 52 games, and he's still playing right now. So he might actually even it up to go, 52 RBIs in 52 games. And it's just been kind of, not out of nowhere in that this Cubs offense is incredible, but he's never been, quite at this level of just incredibleness. So, it's been fun to watch him just take off and just be a little engine that could over there. So, just wanted to call out a few of those highlights. Again, it's been kind of a slowish week in baseball. We can move to our homer picks, and would you like to go first, or?
Well, I'm not gonna be on it too much tonight. I did put my Gallen jersey on, even though he is literally a shell of himself right now. I think he's close to a 5.5 ERA. He walked the first batter in the inning 3 times today. All 3 of those runs scored. It doesn't look like his fastball and curveball are tunneling the same. If you look at if you go and look at some of his stuff today, I was kind of listening to some other podcasts, and it kind of sent me down the Baseball Savant, rabbit hole that you can go. And his curveball is not dropping vertically as much. It's actually got a little bit more horizontal run than previous years, and don't know if that's due to mechanics changes or pitching coach changes, whatever it may be, but it's obviously not having the same effect. But at the end of the day, it's kind of what I tell my 10-year-olds: I can't go out there and play the game for you. I can sit here and hate Torey's decisions all day long, but the game today that was on the players. Defense looked bad. And yes, okay, you're against Paul Skeens, but you shouldn't have lost 10-0. Like 3-0, 4-0.
Yeah.
Like they're averaging 3 runs a game, and we've given up. You just gave up 19-2. So it's.
I mean, it was 10-1, so give yourself a break.
Well, I'm saying 19. It was 19
for the
runs
series,
giving up over 2 games, and for a team that was only averaging 3 runs a game, that's huge. I mean, yesterday they blew another late lead. First time the Pirates have won this year when trailing after 7. And so the bullpen's got to figure it out. The defense has got to stop making. I mean, they looked really, really like a shell of themselves all over the field today. And I mean, and Skeens was as advertised. I mean, he's a daggum good pitcher. But
right. Yeah, you knew what you had to do going in there.
You could. It was like they were already defeated. You could tell they were still defeated from the night before. And it's been a really tough week. So I just like to see them flush it. They've got off day tomorrow. They got the Nationals coming in town. They're not going to be a cakewalk either. So they've already played them once this season, and I'd like to let's turn it around. So I'm going to end it on that note.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where it's still close enough, and it's really good for both teams. It's like if they could just get hot, if they could win 8-10, like you're not that far out. But it's also like there's nothing there that you could be like, oh, this team could win 8-10. Heck no, it's like, geez, it's just ridiculous.
And they have gone on streaks before, but like last year, it seemed like they had more potential. It was like some small hiccups. It was small things. They've lost a ton of winnable games this year in really, really bad fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Last year it was like, okay, well, it's World Series hangover. Everybody's spent. They didn't have as much off season. It was a slow start. People were injured, and now it's just like, okay, well, there is no excuse now. You're just all playing bad. And so at the end of the day, they got to show up to the field and they got to freaking work. They got to produce.
And I'll say this, going back to Galland, over the past calendar year, so, not a full season of starts here, of pitchers who've thrown at least 150 innings, he is second in walk rate. I mean, it really, like I said, it just kind of disappeared some in the last year and just didn't come back. I will say, as a transition, the person who has just a little bit higher walk rate over the past calendar year, Brian Bayo of the Red Sox, who's just been he actually was looking pretty solid today. They took him out kind of early with the pitch count, but this team is just, insert dumpster fire, whatever picture you've got right here. It's just, even this game, it was like you got a couple of hits with runner in scoring position. One of them literally led Rafaela, blew through second base on the third, and they held the runner up at third. So it should have been bases loaded. He gets thrown out. So that's one of your hits with runners in score position. You hit 2 home runs, still couldn't get it done. Defense was just not making good plays. And then I think they said on the broadcast that the Brewers coming into this series were like 3 and like, I don't know, ever how many losses they had whenever they don't score first. Well, the last 2 games, the Red Sox have scored first, and the Brewers have walked them off. So we have padded that stat for them up a little bit. So it's like nothing's going right. I mean, you've got the ability to win. You just can't make a clutch play.
But we try to be very yin and yang in our text threads. The biggest downside that y'all have is that very back end of that bullpen. Y'all have, more blown saves than any other team. And so to be walked off, it seems like if you can fix that end, like if you can, which a lot of teams live and die by their bullpen. And I feel like we're both feeling that a little bit, but I feel like y'all are more, the offense I think is eventually going to come around. And if you can,
and I think that's part of it's a lot of, yeah. And like, if you go and look at like how the Red Sox bullpen rates overall, it's not like, they're pretty solid. They're like top 10. They're like not terrible, but yeah, it's just the offense can't add on and different things like that. It's just those little things. But again, you and I talk about this all the time. They're 6 and 15 in 1-run games, which is just like the White Sox are 3-13, right? So not that much worse. And honestly, if the Rockies could ever win enough games, actually the Rockies are only 4-10 in one-run games, but I think that's because they usually just get blown out. But not to hate on the Rockies too much, but we'll kind of move on from it. I did see there's a Twitter handle, a Twitter account I like to follow, Red Sox Stats, and he added up the total WAR. If you take our up to middle players, so shortstop, second base, center field, they total 0.5 WAR by Fangraphs, and Colorado is the only team that's worse, and the best team is the Cubs. They're at 5.6, but that makes sense because they've been playing so strong up the middle.
Well, and PCA's giving them. I mean, PCA's probably got that by himself.
Yeah, he's been out of this world. Anyway, obviously, we've got those three positions are just zeros with the bat basically right now.
Yeah, and I would love for our text threads to become by the All-Star break to be more of outdoing each other on a positive note. Hey man, okay. Gallen's throwing lights out, Beo's throwing lights out, But as of right now, it's hey, you're 3 and what'd you say 3-10 in one-run games, and
6-14.
Yeah.
15, excuse me. Yeah. And it's not just having a bad winning percentage, it's that you've had 21 tries and you've lost 15 of those,
Yeah, that's where it really, really hurts,
Right. Yeah, it's one thing if you were like 3-5 or 2-5, but when you triple that, it's like that's a lot of terrible miss. But yeah, we can move on from it. It's like I said, I don't want to bog down the whole podcast on just
but again, like I said, 12 blown saves, and a lot of those turn into one-run games. Arizona's right behind at 11. Pittsburgh's at 11. Athletics and Chicago White Sox are all at 11. So that's not good company to be in when you talk about
you are the company you keep, man.
Playoff baseball. So with that,
we'll move from
the show must go on.
The positive news segment of injuries.
Yeah.
What happened? Tell me what's up with Bryce Harper. What he had hit by pitch, or
he took a pitch high and inside and left the game early. They gave an update today, said that he might not be out that long. But like I did go and check. I didn't put it on the podcast, but I did go take his overs on home runs. And this looks like it'll be the second year in a row that I've taken the over on his home runs, and his injury is going to just clip me just a little bit, but we'll see. But did get a little bit of positive notes, positive news today, saying that he probably won't be out that long. It just kind of determines how long the swelling and bruising is going to be up there. No broken bones, nothing, anything like that. It's just when can he start gripping the bat, start swinging it again?
Hopefully soon. Also in news, if there was a baseball player that I most accurately feel aligned to right now, it probably is Michael King, because personally my back has been bothering me for the last few weeks. And now Michael King is out with his shoulder. Mine's kind of like, I always say back, it's like behind the shoulder situation. Right shoulder inflammation from sleeping on it wrong, supposedly. Went from sleeping on it wrong, no big deal, to now he's on the IL with right shoulder inflammation. Hopefully that'll turn around quick, because he was one of my picks early on, player to watch out of there, and he's just been shoving it for most of the year. So hopefully this is just a little, soft tissue working back, and he'll be ready to go in the after the 15 days. Betting updates, Clinton. Speaking of your
updates,
your betting woes,
dude,
let's dig further into them.
I think this is going to be a whole negative show for me. So
just
betting
taking
updates
L's all the way down.
Yep, all the way. So betting updates. Let's go. It was all the way back. I believe it was show either 3 or 4. We did home run totals for 2 players. 2 players we had Juan Soto at 34.5, and we had Kyle Tucker at 30.5 and 29.5, depending on where the sports books were. Juan Soto, you took the under.
Yeah, boy.
I took the over, and I was dead set. I was like, man, He's going to show he's worth everything. Would you like to give us an update through 55 games where Juan Soto is on his home run total?
I mean, he's projected for 23.
Yeah, that doesn't bode well for me.
No,
he's to get on a really hot streak.
That is a 10, like it's under 10 of what I've got him at the line at 34.5. So I will say this. He's still doing like everything right. Like he's just been kind of unlucky, and also it is kind of hard to hit home runs in Citi Field because it's just kind of cavernous out there. So I could see that correcting, in a big weekend, or maybe he gets on the road and starts crushing. So I wouldn't say woe is you, but you do have to, now he's got to hit it like a 40 home run pace to do that, which again he can, but
I mean, I need like 7 home runs a month.
Yeah, you need. Hey, it's gonna warm up eventually. The weather's gonna get right. Kyle Tucker. Okay, I took the over, and I feel like I played you. I feel like I took the obvious picks, and then you were just like, "Oh, well, I'm just gonna pick the opposite." But Kyle Tucker, obviously, he had that incredible half season last year when he was hurt. He's pretty much kept up. I mean, slowed down a little bit recently. Well, I guess he's kind of heating back up already, but. The home runs have slowed down a little bit, but he still has 12 on pace for 35. And I think I had the over at like 29.5. So still got some wiggle room there to still hit that. With that being said, he is a little bit injury prone. So I could see, if he does miss some time, it could definitely come back down and, your under might hit over there. We'll see. But
I don't know, man. I don't have any. I got no hope, man. That entire Cubs team is just playing red hot, and maybe they just run away with that division. The Cardinals, maybe the Cardinals and Brewers kind of pump the brakes a little bit, and they start coming back down to earth. But
especially this Cardinals team, but that's a whole nother segment we don't have time for tonight. But yeah,
we're gonna have to we're definitely have to highlight them because neither one of us. I went back and looked at the rankings that we had. I think it was in show 2.
Mm-hmm.
We did not have the Cardinals competing for a division.
No, I thought they would, at best, it might be like, I don't know, that might have been last in the league, or in the division, because everybody else was looking pretty good. So.
I'm actually looking at your rankings here, and you had the Cubs down there with the Cardinals. And
hey, look,
I mean, you can't be right all the time, Corey.
People make mistakes, and people need the Lord. That's how the song goes. So, player of the year, of the month, of the weekend. Who do you got? Because your name, I started typing it, and then I looked at yours, and I go, "Oh, that's the same name. Never mind."
Were you really taking the same person?
Altuve?
Yeah,
that's who I was.
Jose Altuve is, for the past week and a half, is batting .500 with a whopping 1,000 on base plus slugging. I mean, he is 1,000 slug, a 519 OBP, but still a 3.7 K percentage. Like, is not striking out at all, and is just spraying the ball all over the field. So, I mean, he's not hitting home runs.
You're right,
but he's squaring the ball up, and that's what he's always at his best when he's a gap to gap guy. And I mean,
he's got 8 home runs? That's usually pretty solid.
Yeah, but not over the past week.
He's got to slow down.
Yeah. I mean, I'm talking specifically just like the past week and a half. Yeah, just the past week and a half. So he's been tearing it up. The only batter that has a higher WRC plus is actually Ryan O'Hearn.
Of course. Baltimore. I mean, why not?
I mean,
they just played the Red Sox, so I'm sure he just boosted his stats really good.
I stand corrected. Jose Altuve has 4 home runs over the past week and a half.
Oh, okay. There we
go. And only 7 RBIs.
Well,
so
the trials of a leadoff hitter.
That's right.
Yeah, no, I was looking at the same thing because I saw it. I was like, it's about time, because Altuve, it was like, you go through the first month, and of course it's just a month, but he's 35, new position. It's like, is this the end? Like, he was hitting like 220 for a long time, and then this just boosted him up to about 270. So that's pretty good. But yeah. You just didn't know how it was going to work. Again, with switching positions, that can weigh on players and stuff as well.
Yeah,
so
I think he was really, really trying, because there was so much talk about him moving to left field and playing the outfield and how it was just not going to go well, even coming from me.
Right.
So I think he was so worried about trying to get that fixed and that, working correctly, that it affected his batting, which can happen. So,
and I'm rooting for him because he signed after this year. He's got 4 more seasons he signed on for. He is just a little over 700 away hits from 3,000. So if he's, solid as he's been the last few years, and, obviously it's going to curtail a little bit, but, if he can average out with health, 130, 140 hits per year, he should be good to go to hit that. Now, I don't know if that truly should make him a slam dunk Hall of Famer, but, all the other stats rack up pretty well. He's still got some home runs and some plenty of stolen bases. So, yeah, I like it. And, baseball world, we got to have these beautiful round numbers. And honestly, like, at some point, we're going to see the last 3,000 hit player, right? I mean, I don't know.
They're just not playing enough.
Yeah.
They're not playing the 162 games a year.
Mm-hmm.
Not getting anywhere close.
Right. And pitching just seems to get better and better every year. Mine is a little Uno reverse card here. Picking me a Yankee, man, Rodon, who is just been lights out. Like, kind of started the year. My joke with Rodon was always like, he's really good, and then like one little, he won't get a call, or like a defensive play won't go his way, and then like he gives up the 3-run home run and implodes. Not right now, dude. I don't know if everything's just going his way or what, but dude has just been absolutely cruising and crushing it over the last week. And really, I mean, if you look at the whole year stats, I mean, 2.6 ERA, big strikeouts, big walks. So happy to see that, he's finally healthy, living up to that tag of being the ace that they signed, So move over, Freed. We got a new lefty ace in town, and he was already in town. So I don't know how that works, but yeah, good to see that coming back, and he's really showing up for that. So
yeah, I mean, he's sitting at a 1.47 ERA. It's kind of interesting. He actually has a lower ERA, but a higher average in May than he did in March and April. He only had a 1.54 average against, but had a 3.43 ERA. Obviously, home runs being a big one. He gave up 6 home runs, only given up 2 so far in May, which, it's the 28th, so we don't have much left there. So, and 38 strikeouts. He was actually going to probably be he's not going to have as many strikeouts either. So it's interesting to see, but I mean, that means he's obviously allowing base runners, but he's navigating the traffic a whole lot better. So that's good to see.
Well, I thought I was like in the twilight zone. I'm like, because I was looking at his stats after you said that. I looked at his splits, and so March, April, he has 11.14 K per 9. In May, it's 11.15. And he has a 31.7 K percent in both of those months. I was like, do I have this filtered out weird just to have like 2 numbers be so close to each other over such a like a full month split there? So that was kind of crazy. But
well, I mean, 164 batters in April and only 120 in May. That's 2 starts.
Right. But still, you're talking about a different denominator, and he still got the same exact strikeout percent. That's just weird. Okay, that's an anomaly. I'm here for it. I'm rooting for it. Maybe it'll stay like that every month. He'll have that same number.
There you go.
And if he does, he might win the Cy Young, because that's a huge strikeout rate. But series to watch. I'm going to go first, and then I'll let you spend the moment on yours. I'm going Detroit and Kansas City. That's right. I'm back to repping. I got to rep KC now that my Sox are just destroying me.
They look good this weekend, man.
Yeah, no, they have. I mean, they're winning right now 3-2. They just gave up another run, but yeah, they the offense is still pretty rough out there in Kansas City, but they look good. But just a good showdown. Another kind of just see how good you are going up against one of the better teams. Obviously, we knew the Tigers would have good pitching, but their offense has been pretty solid. So yeah, we'll see. It'd be nicer if Reagans was back and they had him go in this series, but he's still out with his injury. So, little Detroit at Kansas City. Let's see who can come out on top. Speaking of good teams, go ahead.
I'm gonna go with kind of an off the wall one. There's a couple of series that they're obviously teams, but let's see what the Chicago White Sox at Baltimore come up with. I mean, Baltimore.
You can watch that game.
They're two not good teams. They're just not playing good baseball right now. But like at some point, it's like who wants it more? So, I mean, we already saw the Rockies are going to be like out of one of their draft picks because of the anti-tanking rule, and Chicago's not much further behind them. But I mean, you got some interesting matchups. I mean, you got Burt versus Eflin potentially going Saturday. On Sunday, it's supposed to be Hauser versus Charlie Morton. So, could be some low scoring pitching duels there. Who knows? But that's the series I'm actually going to be trying to track this weekend.
Yeah, and they just put up 9 runs against the Mets today. So hey, that offense is weirdly, it's not as bad of an offense as it should be. I'm not going to say it's good by any means.
They definitely just haven't produced.
Yeah, it's been surprising that it's even been where it's at. So that is for the White Sox there, because even Luis Robert has not been good, but Luis Robert has 21 stolen bases, and he's got a 276 on base percentage. Oh yeah, that's a weird thing. I don't even. Sometimes you just see a stat and your brain just goes, I don't know where to go with this, but it's just an oddball. You just gotta love it.
This doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's just like on the flip side, like Baltimore Orioles, Sagano has been like crazy good, and he's got like 5 strikeouts the whole year. I was just like, hey, you can't predict this stuff. You just roll with it. So, oh man, well, I think I will have a lot more fun watching my series. Assuming, I don't know, we've never mentioned that this means I have to watch every game of this series. If that's the case, I'm definitely not ever picking the Red Sox. But yeah, you can enjoy your Chicago, your Baltimore there. Yeah, you got anything else to add on that one?
No, I mean that's it. We'll end on the series. You've got a series to watch. You're telling me I've got a series not to watch.
That's true.
I mean, I'm sitting here looking at it. It's actually not the cheapest game to get into this weekend.
Oh.
Their tickets are at $8, and you can get into the Seattle-Washington game for $7.
Who's Seattle playing?
Washington.
Oh, well,
sorry,
you got me with the Seattle Washington. What a brain buster that is. But okay, that's a weird setup there. But I like it.
I mean, Seattle, they're a soccer.
I would just say this for all those listeners out there: every time we put notes together, like, all right, we got to be more positive. And normally series to watch is a positive thing.
It is.
How can I make this negative?
I'm hurt.
Because
hurt.
His misery needs his company over here. Hey, if you're a White Sox or a Baltimore fan, hit us up. we can all...
I tell you, I do a jersey swap with you, okay?
There you go. We can all hate each other, know.
Well, I got some hats. I got a space for some hats over here. You can't see, but
I'm sure I've got a card. Can I interest you in a Devers card? Of course, I have a few of those around here. We should bust that out one day. But
there we go.
I think that is it for today, for tonight. Again, this has been Cory out here with Clinton. This has been Out of Market Baseball. We appreciate everybody that has been listening and following us through. This has been episode 22, and we appreciate it. And until next week, we will talk to you then.
See ya.
Bye.